Let's talk types of people that I try to avoid at all costs. People that talk bad about their other friends. This will truly never make sense to me because how do people hang out with their best friends every single day and then go and talk shit in like 8 different group chats and air out all the personal things about them? Like the second they're away, they talk so much shit. And if they're talking bad about their friends, best believe they are talking bad about you. People that are rude to their families for no reason. I vividly remember a time in middle school, there was this girl, I literally idolized her. Somehow I got her to agree to come over and hang out at my house. When it was time for her to get picked up, her mom was 5 minutes late. She literally called her, cussed her out, told her that she was worthless, and was so mean to her. First, I could never even fathom talking to my parents like that. That one interaction kept me from wanting to be friends with that girl. If you treat your family like that for no reason, just say you're miserable. Just say it, because there is absolutely no reason to be so rude and disrespectful. Honestly, there are just so many mannerisms that I try to avoid in a person. Comment down below the types of people you try to avoid. And make sure you're only giving your time to people who deserve it.
Get ready with me to try on my wedding dress. Obviously, I'm excited to try my wedding dress, but what's really special is I'm actually the only one who's seen it in person. I shared on my page the other dress try on, but the actual dress I found by myself. So I'm doing the reveal with my mom today, but I figured we could have a little story time too. The number 23 ironically ended up being our number. Side note, this is the best Shape Tape dupe. Jonathan asked me to be his girlfriend, his girlfriend on the 23rd of May, and I was 23 at the time. So let's fast forward 2 years. We bought our house on March 23rd. He proposed a few months later, so obviously we're looking at wedding date. And the first date I had was already taken because it was only like a year out, and we all know the wedding craziness, like you're not getting a year out wedding, like you're just not. And I decided on September because who doesn't want to get married in September? And my parents' anniversary is September 23rd. Just so happened to be a Saturday in September of this year. So our wedding date is September 23rd in the year 2023 on my parents' 23rd anniversary. If you're into numerology, let me know what that means. It could just be luck or could have a deeper meaning. I'm not really sure, but I'd love to hear it. I have to get dressed ASAP because we need to leave like in literally 10 minutes. Come back if you want to see my fit because it's wedding season. We're dressing for everything.
Okay, y'all asked, so I'm gonna give it to you. Here is the story time of how he went to sleep with me, and I found him in my sister's bed the very next morning. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this is referencing my last video. So this is so bad to say, but I wasn't even surprised because my sister's room gets a little cooler than mine. So I was just like, okay, like he just wanted to be colder. That's probably why he left me. Side note, I had to switch to a headband because I couldn't get close enough to my hairline. If you guys haven't caught on, that was a complete joke. This is about my dog. My dog's actually a girl, but I wanted it to sound better because I have a boyfriend, so I changed it to he. So to clarify, my boyfriend did not cheat on me. He never has. He never will. I don't even think he's watched my TikTok about it. So, but I know some people caught on, but yeah, I just thought it'd be funny. I'm actually going to see my boyfriend next week, so there is nothing weird going on. And I'm also probably going to go shop for my sister's bachelorette tonight, so everybody is on good terms. So basically today, I'm just going to get a lot of errands done and TikToking so that I can leave Sunday or Monday to go out of town, maybe Tuesday, I don't know. I'll stay 3 nights with my friend Nat, and then I'm going to stay 3 nights with my boyfriend because he'll just be like moving into a new apartment. He has a summer internship, and then he'll move back to his college in like August, I want to say, after we go to Hawaii. So I'll probably just help my boyfriend move in towards the end of the week, and that'll be good. I'm gonna try to get as much videos done as I can today, as many, I don't speak correctly. I will say I have some good hauls coming for you guys because I know I'm getting some Morgan Wallen stuff in. I know I'm getting like a She's Gracie Lou package in. Like, I'm so excited. I just went to the kitchen to get my stuff to make my greens. Please tell me why my little brother made a pot that says D's nuts for his pottery class. My little brother is the funniest person I know. Like, it's so funny because in school I was like so scared of getting in trouble, and then my little brother's over here making that. Honestly though, that kind of makes me want to go to like a little pottery thing with my boyfriend or my friend next week and make something because it kind of looks fun. If y'all had a pottery thingy in your art class, what did you make? I tried to make a strawberry and it did not turn out good, so I had to turn it into a tomato. I need to go back and get my like, whatever it's called, revenge and make something good this time. Thanks for getting ready with me. I love you guys.
Ready with me while I tell you about how my dad escaped from Vietnam by boat. So I actually grew up hearing these stories, but I didn't realize how heavily censored they were until I asked my dad about it recently. So the reason why my dad left Vietnam is because he wanted to avoid getting drafted into the war. This was not the Vietnam War, it was after that, so this was the war with Cambodia. My dad was 17 at the time, and it's crazy to me because he had several escape attempts by boat. And he said that literally he would go and try to escape at night, and if it didn't work out, he would just go to class in the morning. Although escaping by boat was very risky, almost half of the people who tried to escape by boat would end up becoming unalive before they got to their destination. People were desperate, and so even to get on one of those boats, you had to either have money or connections. The story of how my dad ended up getting on a boat in itself is kind of messy because he kind of got scammed. But how it works when people are trying to escape is they're not trying to escape on this tiny boat and like sail all the way to America. When you're leaving by boat, you're hoping that you get rescued. Because of this, you have to enact specific tactics. The boat captains would usually have men on the lower deck, and then they would allow a few women and children on the upper deck so that boats take pity on you and are more likely to rescue you first. I believe my dad escaped in around 1980, so it had been quite a few years that people were leaving by boat, so I think that's how they knew what to do. They know just how many people they can squeeze into such a confined space, and did not allow people to bring any food or luggage or anything. My dad ended up bringing like a tiny bag of snacks, which he finished within a day, and after that he had to rely on the water rations that were being given out on the boat. And they were rationing, like they didn't know how long they'd be on the water for. My dad, at one point, he got so hungry that he decided to steal from the boat. He came up with a plan and decided to go with two other guys who both ended up chickening out. He decided to venture to the upper deck and go to the back of the boat where the water was. At the exact moment that he reached the back of the boat, a huge wave crashed and it lifted the boat up to the point that it threw his body off of the boat. He was clinging on by only one hand. His legs were literally in the water. He was able to pull himself back up, but the moment scarred him so much that he decided he'd rather die of thirst than dying in the ocean. But as terrifying as that sounds, hunger was not the main cause of death that most people were afraid of. The main threat was pirates. Just as the UN knew where the boats would be to rescue, pirates knew exactly where these boats would be to loot and do other things to passengers on board. My dad's boat did end up having a run-in with pirates, but one of the parts of the story that I didn't tell you was how my dad got onto the boat, and it's because the captain of the boat made a deal with a corrupt communist soldier who ended up giving him a bunch of guns, and in exchange he would allow some of his friends and family onto the boat free of charge. My dad was not one of those people. He got scammed by the communist soldier, but either way, he still made it onto the boat. The reason why the captain wanted these guns was because on a previous trip, one of his family friends had been R-worded by a Thai pirate and unalived. The captain wanted his revenge, and that's another reason why he didn't allow anybody to bring anything on the boat, because it was full of guns. Like every nook and cranny was crammed with guns, and when it came time to use them, they did.
Here are a few basic things I think men should be doing for women. I already know people are gonna come at me for this video, but I respect everybody's opinion. This is just what I think. Paying for the first date is a non-negotiable for me. I find that to be very basic. I think there's something really special about being taken care of by a man, at least on the first date. I'm obsessed with this massive sponge. It's like the size of my face. Opening doors. If you're not opening my door, what are you doing? Like I said in my previous video, some Mexican men open the car door for you to get in, but then once you arrive to the location, they come around the car and they open the door for you to get out. That's like next level. It's not about the fact that I can't open my own door. I know I can open my own door. It's just nice when he opens the door for you. But my husband is Turkish and he sometimes forgets to open the car door for me or other doors, so it's fine. We're working on that. I feel like a lot of men are just not taught those things, so they don't know better, so I excuse them. Another thing that I feel like is basic. If you see me carrying bags and you're carrying nothing, offer to carry it for me, like, oh, let me help you with that. Don't just walk next to me and watch me struggle. Like, that's so not cool. Chivalry shouldn't die. Maybe I think differently because I grew up in Mexico, but I'm so curious to know if I'm the popular or unpopular opinion. I'm gonna wait for this to dry so I can reveal the color. This is perfection. I'm gonna add this Rhode lip gloss on top. I've noticed some of my Rhode lip glosses become grainy. Am I the only one? I'm so confused. Love these so much though. It's like a lip exfoliator. Okay, what are your relationship non-negotiables or relationship icks?
I accidentally just fucking deleted everything I just filmed. I feel like I never see anyone talk about this, but I also like constantly drastically switch between the two, so I notice it the most. Okay, my eyes are watering because I just did my eyeliner, but the very first thing that I've like ever noticed, because it's like that fucking obvious, is I get sexually harassed like in public way more when my hair is lighter than when I'm brunette. And obviously like I'm a girl, like even when I was brunette I still got harassed. I mean, that's just like a thing, but it's like 10 times more when my hair is lighter, and it's like the fucking strangest thing. Okay, so another thing is like obviously there's a stigma that like all blondes are like dumb or whatever, but I didn't realize that people actually like fucking believed it and like applied it into everyday life. I noticed that people listen to me more when I'm brunette, but like when I'm blonde, people often like assume that like I don't know what I'm talking about, just like in public and stuff. It's like I'm not the smartest person, but like I can get around. Another thing too, which this one's like blatantly obvious, but I get more ads on Snapchat like on a daily basis as a blonde, because my Bitmoji's blonde, obviously when I'm blonde, and I get more ads. That's really all I can think of, because it's only like a few things, but they're just like so fucking bizarre. It's like, what? Like, this is my friend's lip gloss I stole from her because she left it at my house. Honestly, if you leave anything at my house, it's fine. Don't ever expect it back.
Get ready with me while I explain why it's important to show up. This past weekend, I decided to put myself out there and host a charm necklace night. And I really wanted to get to know the girls. One of my 2024 goals was to make more friends. So I really pushed myself, and I asked a bunch of girls that I have just been like kind of talking to on social media. So no one that I knew was gonna come to this. I made an effort to like invite people I've never met before. I spent about $50 to $60 buying a bunch of charms and like the clasps and different things that was needed. I spent a couple hours baking cookies, and I made chocolate covered strawberries, and I just had put a lot of time and effort into this event. The event was Friday. I double checked on a Thursday and made sure that we were all on the same page. I said I'm confirming numbers for tomorrow because I'm making some things, and every single one of them said I will be there. Friday rolls around and I am cleaning my house, setting everything up, making all the goodies so they're nice and fresh, and slowly the texts start to pour in. Starting at about 1 p.m., I got a text every 30 minutes from a different girl stating they wouldn't be able to make it tonight, and so sorry for the last minute cancellation. I kept my spirits up, as I would be fine having 4 girls show up. My mom always says to invite double the number because only half of them are actually going to show up. And so I thought it would be fine if even 4 girls had shown up. The event was planned at 6:30, and at that point there was only 2 girls left, and I was debating just canceling it altogether. At 6:07, I got a text from the second to last girl stating she's so sorry, but she's not able to make it. And I only had 1 girl left. And at that point, I'm super defeated. I'm not my best. I'm not at my best, and I just decided to cancel. Which that last girl is such a gem for still willing to come over. Every single one of them had stated that they were sick or their child was sick, even though they had just confirmed with me the night before that everything was good and that they would be coming. So it makes it hard to believe that every single one of them was sick. So it just led me to believe that they had a little bit of social anxiety and decided not to come because they were going to a place where they weren't going to know anybody. But in the end, people need to realize how much time, effort, and money is spent when you're being invited to something. So I made them by myself with my husband because he's a saint and he said he would make one with me. So here's your PSA to show up to things when you say you'll show up.
Girl rolled her eyes at me when she saw that I was wearing the same dress as her at the TikTok Awards. So I was wearing this black sparkly dress from Showpo, and I loved this dress. It was beautiful. Before the awards had started, everyone was just like chatting around, mingling with people, and I went to go walk past this girl who was wearing the same dress as me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute, it's so funny, you know? So as I walked past her, I like tapped her on the shoulder, and I was like, love it. Pointing out the fact that we were wearing the same dress and that like I loved how she looked. She's like this. And then like turns to her friend and gives her friend like this like look. And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm just out here trying to be friendly and nice and tell you look cute and like we're matching. That's so cute. But I don't think she appreciated it, to be honest. It's fine. I just tried to be nice, but it's fine. Maybe she thought I meant it negatively. I don't know. This big... Also, you may be wondering why I have this massive pile of packages. That's all the packages that I missed when I was away for 3 weeks. I just took a photo of it because it just looks so funny. Also, I quit that summer job that was only giving me 3 hours, by the way. I'm actually gonna go back to work at another job that I've already worked at before. Guys, I actually cannot believe that last week happened. I actually can't believe it. I can't stop looking at all the photos and videos that I took. I can't believe it. This app got me to go to Sydney. I know I've talked about it so much. Well, I feel like I've talked about it a lot. Maybe on my Instagram, mostly. I flew to Australia. I started TikTok in 2019. I just can't believe it's got me this far. I'm just so grateful. I can't even believe it. I just can't believe it. I promise I'll eventually stop freaking out over that trip, but it was my first brand trip. And if I never get another brand trip ever again, that's okay, because it was just like such a phenomenal trip and I got to do it with a brand that I love so much. I'm so grateful. Holy moly, I put way too much blush on. Why do I do this? I always do this. Also, I did tan a tiny little bit in Sydney. See this little brown shoulder compared to my chest? I fell in love with Australia when I went over there. I want to move there right now. If I could move there right now, I would. Basically, I have to wait until Andre is done with med school and then see ya. I have to live there. I just have to live there. It's a classic whenever people go away on holiday. They're like, oh my gosh, I can live here. It's so amazing. But it's like, do you? Or are you just on holiday and you love the holiday? But I was genuinely like, I want to go to the supermarkets here. I want to live in the heat. There's so much more than there is in Dunedin, New Zealand. So in 5 years, hopefully, I will be in Australia. Also, Ardell Professional sent me some brow glue, and along with it, they got me this freaking little light mirror. And you can like zoom up too. And it's so sick. It's actually so awesome. This is like something I really needed. I'm yet to review the brow glue itself, but frick, this mirror is sick. So thank you so much, Ardell. It's crazy. Also, I hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, which is awesome. So exciting. I've been at 1,000 for like 5 years, I swear. But anyway, I'm gonna go do my hair now. Bye.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls always over blush. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls are always in a rush.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys a little story time about when a fan showed up to my house. But this happened sometime in the spring, and I had gotten home from school. My mom was still at work, so my sister and I were at home on our phones, just relaxing after school. I don't know if you guys watched the bullying video, but this was around the same time where my phone number was getting leaked, and so was my address. The doorbell of my house rings, and my sister goes to open it. Now, the doorbell had rung around the time that my mom usually got home, so we figured it was just our mom and she had too many groceries, so she couldn't open the door. My sister was the one who answered the door, and I could hear them talking downstairs, so I came out of my room to see what was going on. I wasn't really worried because I figured it might have just been like a package that needed signing or something. But as I go downstairs and lock eyes with this kid, I didn't recognize him, and I lived in a small town before, so I kind of just knew everyone. So I asked what his name was. He told me his name, and then he asked for a photo with me. Now, usually if you guys ever see me in public, I'm always totally okay with pictures. I don't mind at all. In fact, I love meeting you guys. But at this point, I felt really uncomfortable, and I asked him where he was from. This kid wasn't even from where I live at all. He lived in a whole different province, so he had to like fly to this area. He told me that he was visiting some family who lived in the same town, and he found my address.
and decided to show up at my door. Immediately, I felt super uncomfortable, just as anyone would in that situation.
So I looked at this kid blankly in the eyes after he asked for a photo, and I said, "You realize you're at my house," which is a massive invasion of my privacy. I asked him where he got my address from, and he told me the name of the person who lived in my town. Obviously, I didn't take a picture with him because I was scared at that point. And so I told him to leave and please not come back and don't give out my address to anybody else. But that kid never bothered me again, and I didn't have anyone else ever show up to my house asking for a picture. But it was definitely one of the weirdest interactions I've ever had. Anyways, that was my little story time.
I'm a manager at my store, and I guess because I'm young, people just don't really believe me when I tell them stuff. I'll have customers come up to me and ask if we sell a product, and I'll be like, "No, sorry, we don't stock that." They'll just turn to me and go, "It's okay if you don't know, sweetie, like, blah, 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 blah. You can go ask someone else if you don't know." I'm literally the manager. I do get a lot of satisfaction when they go and ask someone else, and then the other person calls for me, and I get to come along and say, "As I said before, we don't stock that product." I was serving a lady the other day. She was paying with cash, so I put out my hand to take her cash, and she throws the money at me onto the counter. I had my hand out. It's not like I was making you wait or something, but I'm hella petty, so when I got her change out, she had her hand out and I put it down on the desk, and she was like, I was like, "It's right there." Because why are you going to throw your money at me? There's no need for that. So if you're a cashier and you pack people's bags, this should not be a controversial opinion. Eggs go at the bottom of the damn bag. It is so frustrating when you start packing someone's bag and then they start redoing it in front of you. I'm just like, give up. I start scanning as fast as I can so that their items pile up and it's harder for them. Because honestly, just let me do it. Like, why are you being like this? I know how to do it, okay? I already put on my lash serum today because I did my mascara already. A week ago, I was using my goddamn eyelash curler and ripped out the front chunk of my eyelashes. So this is looking a little sparse, and I'm currently using 2 lash serums, praying that one of them does something. Please pray for me that there are not heaps of rude customers this year, because the past 2 years I've worked in the same place. Me and my co-workers do like a count of the amount of rude customers you have to deal with, and for some reason mine is always the most. And I swear to God, I'm so patient. I feel like if I have to deal with anyone rude this year, I'm actually just gonna cry, because my patience is just running thin at the moment. I can't deal with your problems anymore. Stop rushing me. You have somewhere to get, I get it, but like, I'm going as fast as I fucking can. Like, just chill, please. This is your reminder to treat retail workers like humans, because we are humans and you're so mean sometimes. Anyways, that is my little rant.